volunteers who searched for her and promised her family a thorough investigation into her death.
The Wounded Warrior Project has grown from a grassroots effort to a national organization which helps injured service members.
However, it hasn't lost the grassroots support. In this week's Heroes Come Home, our Chip Brewster shares the story of an 84-year-old Wisconsin woman who is knitting together a huge contribution.
Meet Virginia, better known as Ginny Gaylauer, a lifelong homemaker and widow of a former Marine. She spends much of her time knitting.
I love little things like this. It's wonderful.
Though it may seem like a simple hobby for this Oconomowoc woman, these small dishcloths have made a big difference. Over the past 2.5 years, she's been selling her creations and donating every dime to the Wounded Warriors Project. And we're not talking just a few $100s. Ginny has made and thus given nearly $8,000.
You know, most of us housewives, we don't get a chance to do anything for the soldiers. And when they realize that all the money goes to the soldiers, everybody, in my opinion, wins.
Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield.
Wounded Warrior Project was founded 10 years ago by a group of veterans and friends as the first troops were returning home from Afghanistan and Iraq. Its vision is to foster the most successful, well-adjusted generation of wounded service members in our nation's history.
This was a birthday present.
It's a story Ginny knows all too well.
This is Andy.
2 of her grandsons have served overseas.
And this is Luke.
Luke, formerly an officer in the Army, and Andy, who as a Marine was nearly killed in Iraq.
It was a bad crash with what seemed to be a suicidal truck, and he was in a car. And he was sitting beside the driver, and the driver swerved this way, and so he got the brunt, which often happens. That's why they call that the death seat. He has survived and revived, got married, has 2 kids, so he's going to make it, but he was definitely changed and injured in the war.
Though Ginny isn't sure if her grandson was ever helped by Wounded Warriors, she knows the dishcloth dollars are supporting men and women with a similar story.
Once you're a wounded warrior, you're always a wounded warrior. You don't just change and suddenly you're not. So they have a whole different way of looking at it.
And I didn't know if people would really like them, but people love these dishcloths. They were great.
Gail Barnard owns Fresh and Green Market in Oconomowoc, one of the several places the dishcloths are sold. She tells us while the sales are good, sometimes all it takes is the mission.
People will even donate money, you know. Oh, I only want 1, but I'll donate $5.
The extra support doesn't stop at cash donations. As word spreads, other yarn crafters are adding their stitches to the pile.
They're all given to me. When they found out there was a place to put them and it would make money for the soldiers, I started getting dishcloths like crazy.
Ginny knows she could never compete with the big corporate donations Wounded Warrior brings in, but sometimes the effort means more than the bottom line.
It's a wonderful thing. We're able to send them this money. I don't think they've run out of money or anything, but and I'm sure they have other sources that are really more exciting. However, this reminds everybody that the Wounded Warriors are still actively helping our boys and girls, and I think it's just working out so well. I'm very proud of it.
If you live near the Oconomowoc area and would actually like to help Ginny out, she's looking for someone willing to cut the material to make these guys. They're essentially knitted pot scrubbers. You can leave a message at any one of the locations her dishcloths are sold. If that's you, or if you just like to buy a dishcloth, you can find the full list of those businesses selling the crafts on our webpage. That's fox6now.com. For Heroes Come Home and Fox 6 News, I'm Chip Brewster.
It's 10 p.m. Parents, do you know where your children are?